You've probably heard of Glitch. They're the company that produced Murder Drones and The Amazing Digital Circus, two pretty amazing indie animation shows, if I do say so myself. But before those two shows, Glitch actually produced two other indie animation projects, and they're both really good. They're called Metarunner and Sunset Paradise, and I'd recommend them if you're looking for something good to watch. Today we're going to talk about Metarunner, the first show that Glitch ever produced. Major spoilers ahead, so if you haven't watched the show, I'd recommend watching it first and then coming back to this video. So Metarunner takes place in a futuristic city called Silica City, where video games are everything. Basically, esports has taken over the world, and to be good at video games is to be good at life. And some people are so extreme, they chop off a part of their arm and replace it with a robotic arm just to be better at video games. Those people are called Metarunners. Hey, that's the show title. The show revolves around a specific Metarunner named Tari, who has the uncanny ability to warp inside video games, and is on the run from an evil company called TazCorp that wants to capture and exploit her. Now that's a vague synopsis of the series, but I don't feel like spoiling the entire plot of the show in this video. You should just go watch the show. It's a fun watch, and shouldn't really take that long. It's only 28 episodes, each episode being 15 to 20 minutes in length. Instead, I want to talk about the main character of the show, Tari, and why I think she's a good main character. Tari's journey begins in a lab, in a back alley, where she wakes up with no memories. The first episode is so much fun as we get to explore Silica City through her perspective. We see how big gaming is, from game stores to esports to even bus stops where people miss their buses. In Season 1, Tari's just a blank slate, and I think that's a good call because we have an excuse to learn more about the world around us without the explanation feeling pointless, and we get to experience the plot at the same time she is. At the end of the first episode, Tari ends up accidentally warping into the game Ultra Jump Mania, and the second episode revolves around her learning about her new powers and exploring the new world she's found herself in. And that's the coolest part about Tari's abilities. Even though all 3 seasons take place in one city, we constantly find ourselves exploring new environments as Tari lives out every video game nerd's dream of being inside the world of each game. And we get to connect to each of these games more since we get to see them from the inside rather than watching someone play them. We already have plenty of Twitch streamers doing that. Another reason making Tari a blank slate works is we get to see her develop and gain her own personality. She starts out very shy and unsure of things, but by Season 2, she's able to lead her friends to victory, make her own decisions, and stand up for what she wants against people who previously antagonized her. And in Season 3, she's the one leading MD5 in place of Masa as they figure out how to stop Sheridan, save Lucinia, and save the world. Since Tari doesn't know anyone at the start of the series and is kinda just thrown into the plot, we have an excuse to learn about the connections and history of the main characters and the mysteries at play. All the main cast of characters are connected to each other in one way or another, which we learn as the show goes on. They all know each other's motivations, they don't need to explain it to one another. But by throwing Tari into the mix, we have a reasonable explanation for why these characters are explaining their motivations, without it seeming weird or unnecessary. When Tari joins MD5, Sophia states that each one of them has been hurt by TazCorp in one way or another, and they're working together to take down the company and expose them for the harm they cause. Along the way, we get to see how each one of them were impacted by TazCorp from Tari's perspective. While Tari is not always the main instigator of this, and we have seen flashbacks from other characters like Belle, we're learning about the world around us for the character we're following the most. And we get to know these characters so well that by Season 2, we're following 4 different plots. Tari's plot in TazCorp, Theo trying to break out of his digital containment, Belle trying to learn the truth about Project Blue, and MD5 trying to regroup and make a new plan to save Tari and Theo as well as take down TazCorp. I think the main cast is written so well, and I feel like we could have a spin-off for any one of them because they're that likable and interesting. Back to Tari, she has a connection with everyone in the main cast, and she ends up tying the plot together, eventually being the one to save Lucinia and reunite her with her friends. Some of these connections are straightforward, like her being friends with Sophia and Lamar. Some are more complicated, like her rivalry-turned friendship with Belle, but Tari connects to everyone in the cast in one way or another. I also think Tari is just a really likable character. We see her go from the shy gamer girl to a confident and powerful Metarunner. She's kind-hearted to everyone around her, and even though she develops few friendships throughout the show, she's willing to risk everything for her friends to keep them safe, from giving herself over to TazCorp to let MD5 go free, to standing up to Belle to save Theo despite her claims that he was just a computer program. When Evelyn kills Theo and gloats about it to her, Tari claims that all she ever wanted to do was keep her friends safe. And at the end of the show, She's willing to rip her programming apart just to give Lucinia her life back with her friends. My last point is just talking about Tari and Theo's friendship. In episode 2, Tari warps into the game Ultra Jump Mania, Metarunner's version of Mario, and meets its main character, Theo. Through going through the game with him, she learns how to use her powers and she bonds with him. Theo becomes her first ever friend, and despite him having the mental capacity of a child, Tari values Theo's friendship and life to the point where she risks everything to keep him safe. Her motivation for joining MD5 initially was to keep her and Theo safe. She participates in the Tempest tournament so that they can get Theo's cartridge back so he can go back to his game. She refuses to leave Task Corp without Theo, and she promises that she'll protect him. At the end of the show, Tari does save Theo by preserving his and her data in a private server she made so that they can just play games and hang out forever. It's so wholesome seeing Tari fight so hard for Theo. I wish we got to see more of Metarunner. The last we got was the prequel comic, and I think that's all we're getting because Glitch has moved on to bigger things. I hope we get more Metarunner stuff one day, but I can enjoy the series for what it is. A fun starter indie animation project with a fun premise and strong characters. It also has the legit lesbian couple and several strongly written female characters, so it's automatically great. In the comment section below, let me know if you've seen Metarunner and what you think of it, or if you're interested in watching the show and giving it a chance. This is Queen of Penguins saying peace out, happy belated Pride Month, and if this video comes out on time, happy 5th anniversary to Metarunner.
In your reality and share